This is the end of the Southern Stab at the very last day. On the way home, I am in not Richmond, Virginia. I'm in some suburb where they have a whole bunch of chain restaurants and a Walmart. I'm somewhere outside the Beltway on the southern southwest side.
Rich. Yeah. That's where you are.
I'm in Where am I?
Midlothian.
I'm in Midlothian.
Whenever customer service people, I have to tell them, they think it's like some Lord of the Rings city.
Right.
Yeah.
This is going to be a podcast style video, and I don't even know in the background what sort of visuals I'm going to use. I have a bunch of B-roll from the Southern Stab that's just going to go over it, and we're going to talk a little bit about what I learned, what we learned doing on the on this road trip, which wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for you and your donations to Patreon. It's with your money that Regular Car Reviews was finally able again to leave Pennsylvania and film cars and vehicles, there's a hint, of things we otherwise would not get a chance to get into. So RCR, as you know, is two people. It's myself, Mr. Regular, and the Roman. We're here, but we also have two guests. Now, this is being recorded June 13th, 2015, 2 days before, or it's on a Saturday. This is a Saturday, right? Saturday. And the new video will come out Sunday. I don't know what day this is going to go up. Hopefully, well, it's going to be after the Monday review. So you know what? I'm playing Time Lord here and saying that this one has come out after the 1988 Corvette C4. So now I have locked in. Now I'm locked in to do it after. Locked in. Have to do it afterwards. So
headlights go round.
So to my left is the owner of that 1988 Corvette C4, Will.
Howdy there.
Hi, Will.
Hi.
To my right is the Roman. You know him well.
Yeah, that's me.
And also sitting on the bed to my 12 o'clock across from me is David Patterson.
Hello.
You know David Patterson from the YouTube channel The Dude in Blue, since we're going through Virginia. And so David and I get a chance to hang out, which is the interesting thing that I'm learning about being a YouTube person, is that you have a large network of people, especially in the car world, who are doing the same things as you are, but you pass each other like ships in the night.
Well, you miss each other how many times?
Right. We're in one city. You were in Pennsylvania last week.
Just in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, which is an hour from you.
Yes.
So I was super bummed because as soon as I saw the fairgrounds, I thought drone shot. Because when you went to Carlisle for the Corvette thing. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this is exactly like Regular Car Reviews drone day. Yeah. And I was like, I know the fairgrounds like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really fun though at Carlisle.
It's a big place.
Sure. It's huge. You can work out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wore my dad's sandals there, and well, I'm going back there again. I'll be back at Carlisle for Corvette Site Carlisle again. For every year. There's a wedding going on at this double.
There is a wedding.
It's actually the Rich Dads Convention.
And there is a convention called the Rich Dads.
I'm your
dad. I'm your dad.
Yeah, yeah.
It's that time again. I'm for dads. I'm your dad. So this is the recap for the Southern Stab. We filmed 10 episodes, and we filmed some point of view as extras. And I want to learn, partially this is going to be a recap of the conversations we've had over today, because as RCR grows, the possibility of an RCR meet has reached inevitable status. And you can tell as my voice begins lowering a little bit here, it's lowering with consequence. Because I want to know how to have a car meet and be able to avoid the angry young man problems of which inundate car culture. Yeah.
Ego.
Got an extra inch, gotta let the world know it.
Yeah. Got an extra obey hat if you want it.
Oh,
I just saw Fury Road and I decorated my room with
what a
hubcaps
lovely day.
Yeah.
No, because we were talking about earlier about how we have a week. I'm not gonna say where, but we have a weekly meet here in Richmond, and Midlothian, and it's just gotten so out of hand. It used to be a very calm, very civil meet where people would just have something to look forward to every week after a hard work week, go hang out. But now it's people on bikes, doing burnouts, and you got the one-wheel peels, and just I think a big part of it is it's summer.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of the younger crowd who can go out late. That's actually one of the reasons we choose Sunday night, is because during the school year, a lot of the younger kids can't come out because of school night, which I'm not saying it's all of them, but it's mostly a younger crowd who have just gotten their license, which, like you say, it's age too. I mean, I think in that mindset, I did some pretty reckless stuff too.
Yeah.
But it's just, when you've grown, it's just like, come on, man. Like, you don't have anything to prove. We love you. Just chill.
Yeah, when you're young and you're learning what the limits are, you go back when you're older and realize, oh man, I was stupid. And learning is fun. Just don't do it on our time.
Yeah,
Right. Learning is fine, just don't do it on our
The
time.
effects of one person can entirely change it up. I mean, out here in Richmond, there's another place that, every Saturday morning was one of the morning meets that they would have. All of a sudden, one person messed up, ran into something else. I don't know whether anybody was hurt by any means, but this has been a place that's been going on for quite a few years. We're talking 30 or 40 years they've been meeting in the same place. It's done.
Takes one.
It's done.
Takes one.
They now have to find another place, another way to go.
Right.
I mean, one person who's suddenly got something to prove about all that horsepower. Yeah, you may have it, but this isn't a track.
Yeah.
And think about it. All these people who are going there, they're not going to be impressed because they've seen it all already. And even if they haven't, you should be worried about being that guy.
Yeah, like even when I leave, like, say, Cars and Coffee in Richmond, if I break like 4,000 RPM, I feel like a jerk.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, just trying to get up and going. I swear, because another bad element is having people stand on the side of the road, because your natural instinct kicks in, like competitive instinct kicks in, going, oh, I have to show off now. They're all going, do it, because when you have that instigator, you're like, oh, well, I'll be that guy, but at the same time, I don't want to be not that guy, and you're at this weird crossroads. But when you get to a certain point of where you just don't care, and you just get through that phase. Like, you just drive out like a civil human being.
Of course, part of it is if you arrange a meet. Yeah, I think you mentioned it in your meet video. That what you worry, are people even going to come?
Yeah.
Who's going to show up? How many people?
Right.
It's like you don't want to plan this big meet and then have it be
chaos or just nothing. Yeah. It says there was every city has that group. Like you'll have like every city I feel like has kind of the same formula. You got the hot rods, you got the old school, you got I call them the tuner kids who have respect. Then you have the tuner and younger kids that don't have respect. And then you have the stereotypical muscle guys who think everything's dumb except their own muscle car. And like, you have all those groups. But if you're able to eliminate the disrespectful groups, for the most part, that alone in Boston, that's what did it. We basically said we just want subscribers. It sounded brutal. But we were like, try not to, like, if you bring a friend, bring somebody you trust. That's not going to be a show off, all this stuff. And like we said earlier, for the younger kids that showed up, a lot of times they had their parents with them.
Right.
And I had people come up to me going, David, it's nice to meet you. My kid's just been dying to meet you, and I brought him up here. And I was like, oh, really cool, man. And I think it's kind of like with you, with like a field trip. I remember growing up, I never wanted my mom to be the chaperone.
Right.
I always felt under pressure. But I think that translates later to where, oh wow, if I did it in front of my parents, I would be stupid now, wouldn't it? Yeah. And if you treat everybody like a parent, quote unquote, maybe, I don't know.
What I was thinking about what I could do for a regular cars meet, one would be announcing from the get-go go on the video where I would say, here's what a regular car meet would be. Hold on, just checking on the computer, see that it's still recording. And, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Very nice.
We're back.
Just, I'll just move the mouse from time to time.
Okay.
Announced from the very beginning, this car meet is being held with the full cooperation and presence of the Pennsylvania State Police, indicating that there will be an officer here. And that will scare away, forgive my profanity, but will scare away shitheads.
Yeah.
Or dirtbags, or people with their car was involved in some illegal activity may not show up for that. And I like your idea of the subscribers only, and maybe for a test run I could just open it up to Patreon people. Now that limits it to about 500 people. And across the country and other
Test run's
things.
a test run, man. Can't go
It is
wrong.
a test run. It is good
But,
test
are
run.
you kidding me? Like 500 people?
It's still a lot.
That
It's
is
still a lot.
ridiculous.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like when you release a video. Like, I swear this is not arrogance coming out of me, but I have like 280 something thousand subscribers, but only so and so % watches the video. It's kind of like when you announce the car meet. I was nervous it was going to be overcrowded, but it was like just the right amount. You know, it was like if you over account, I kind of learned that lesson to where a lot of people would be like, that's too far, or I can't come out, or I have to work. You have to. I always remember that the subscriber number is people. You know, it's people with jobs and life, or kids, or school, or whatever, and not everybody can come out because you can't have 281,000 people in one spot. It would be like. Chaos.
Yeah, so you're at 280,000. Regular car reviews is about at 179,000. Getting there. Perhaps I should wait until 200,000 kicks around.
That was my original goal, was a 200K meet. And I became too busy, and I couldn't find a spot. That's my hardest part, is finding a venue. But I totally mean the state police thing. That'll deter so much, because even at that weekly one I was telling you about, whenever they show up to check up on us, people just so happen to start leaving. You know, and my attitude is, if you're doing nothing wrong, you can just chill and relax.
It's on the lessons, but because as we've been going on the Southern Stab, I've been transcribing just lessons that we've learned on the road, and one of them is, if you have nothing to hide, then you don't need time. You don't need time to think of a lie. If you know
that was something. I learned that people will lie to you about getting their car on the show. Or sometimes they will tell half-truths, and it takes a couple of questions to get to the real truth. Now some of them have good intentions. Some of them think that Mr. Regular and the guy who's speaking these voices right now are the same person, and they're not. Mr. Regular is a character that, as a placeholder, maybe this is my name, maybe it's not, but a character that Robert Ames plays. Of course, if you know your literature, you understand who Robert Ames is and the significance of that. Now, this is hardcore American modernist references. I will be damn impressed and someone's going to Google Robert Ames, but I
really don't know that you'll get a search result that will give you
who Robert Ames is.
So.
There's some deep cuts. But
okay, so we know. All right, that was the first lesson. What were some of the other lessons? Indian food is unregulated. What is mild curry at one place is a complete face fucker at another place.
Okay, I gotta ask. Curry stench in Silicon Valley. You guys have that pretty well locked up now, as far as getting the silicone in and keeping the water out.
The water.
How bad does the curry stench stick for a while? Because I know whenever I have curry, it's it's in the sheets. It's living with it for a while.
Well, the second day that we had the Indian food, we were there for another 14, 15 hours before we had to get back in Sally, so we got all of that out of the system. On the lessons page, I just say, Indian food produces fiery farts, the likes of which no amount of Beano can prevent. And I took 3 tablets of Beano, and I was still in there,
Just
oh my, it was, I don't want to compare it to childbirth, but I was pretty sure I was giving birth to smoke monsters. It was weird.
No, like, I feel like whenever you have that kind of situation where you have to I'm just gonna say, go like that, and you go, and it's at a friend's house, you're like, you go up, you hold their shoulder, and you go, I'm sorry, just let it happen, and then you walk away.
Just let it go. So no more curry, no more chutney, no more. Bad news.
How was dealing with the y'alls?
Yeah.
I say y'all all the time.
I thought that we would get called out more often as Northerners because, one, I have this broadcast voice.
Right.
But right now, I'm cranking it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You are listening to the radio voice of Radio Car. We are broadcasting on the voice of 1540 AM, 1670 AM, and online at Regular Car Reviews /YouTube.
It's so perfect.
What were we talking about?
Y'all. Northern people.
Okay. List of accents in descending order. Favorite accent, South Carolina.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I love
Musical.
that accent.
Just
Did you go to Charleston?
Charleston?
No, we didn't get to go to Charleston. We went.
It's a beautiful city.
Really?
It's an utterly delightful place.
It's rated the nicest city in the United States.
Really
Can't go wrong with Charleston.
You can't.
We didn't go to Charleston. We blew right through South Carolina.
You just go straight through it.
We went from. Our first stop was Fairfax, Virginia. Then we went to, which I have to tell you about a thing we saw that I can't talk about here.
Okay.
Just because it's a downer. But, Fairfax, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina.
My birthplace.
I spent a lot of time in Raleigh.
Yeah.
From Raleigh, we went to downtown Raleigh. We ate chicken and biscuits, and it was delightful.
Oh, wonderful.
Food in Raleigh is incredible.
I had a wonderful old-fashioned there, and I'm not talking about a hand job. I'm talking about the drink.
Yeah. No, it's a good atmosphere. The train tracks and like everything. The agriculture is right outside the city. It's actually where I had It's actually where I learned I needed to be allergy tested because my first freelance gig ever before YouTube was for NC State. And I had to film for an agriculture scholarship. Oh, wow. So I had to go to a horse feed mill, a grass testing facility, a dairy farm, and a horse ranch. And I did all these things within like 4 hours, and I pet one of the horses and touched my face. And contacts fell out of my eyes, asthma attack, whole 9 yards.
That sounds
and so
horrible.
it was the worst day of my life when it came to allergies. And my boss had no allergies, so he didn't understand. He was like, "You're fine." Next day, I got all the pricks on the back. You ever been tested?
Yeah.
They take every allergy known to man and prick you with it to see if you respond to it. And I was allergic to 54 different things.
Wow.
So I was like, oh. That explains that.
Next immune system.
Yeah.
Allergic to all the things.
Seriously.
After Raleigh, we went to. We weren't Stone Mountain, Georgia. We weren't quite in Atlanta.
Jake the Snake Robin. Come for the BDT.
Yeah. I love Georgia though.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Parts of it.
Georgia. I'm gonna go with Georgia's number 2 favorite accent. From Georgia, we went to Gainesville, Florida, and the last bastion of the South.
It's true.
That was heat like I've never experienced.
Yeah, I felt
that was way, even though it was north of Sarasota, or for us, Bradenton, that was worse. There was the air just hangs.
You
There's
can see
no
it
wind.
That and the Gainesville shoots, there was nowhere to stand in shade.
See a gator? Any alligators?
No, we saw critters.
I saw
running
2
around.
alligators when I was down there.
Saw a bunch of places where you could buy gator meat.
Well, yeah, when I filmed a 370Z there, and it was
Nice.
pretty fun.
Saw a burned out Wrangler. Someone left in the parking lot. No explanation.
I don't know where this came from, so I'm just gonna leave it here.
It was everything that I thought of Gainesville. All that they needed was Less Than Jake to be blaring in the background. We got a skate park with a playground. There's people skating. There's a Wrangler. What came after the TJ? The
Oh man, this is not. Yeah. Jeep
we
is
did a
not my
review
knowledge.
of one. What am I talking about?
JK.
The XJ? No, that was a Cherokee. People are screaming at their computers.
Yeah, I
yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you do enough videos.
JK. It was a Jeep.
Yeah.
Hi, I was right. Good guess.
How many reviews do you think y'all done yet now?
We're just, I want to say we're on just under 200 videos.
Wow.
Wow.
Something like
Ish.
that. Ish.
Around there.
But we have half the stuff isn't
Reviews.
full-on reviews. They're the point of view drives, which is something to throw to someone. Look, I don't have time to fill your car,
Exactly,
but I can
but
come out
here's
with the
your car.
GoPro
Yeah,
and we can
we'll
just go
have
and
fun.
talk.
Yeah.
196 videos.
I updated my playlist today. I totally forget to update the playlist, and so I looked, and the last review I did was from like October in the playlist. I was like, oh, so I updated it. I've done I think 76 reviews now. It's like wow, like it kind of sets in. You're like, I've driven that many different cars like for the channel, but
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy.
But that scene with the burnt out Wrangler, kids skateboarding, paying no attention to it. The Wrangler was burnt, the tires were untouched, and the wheels were clean. But the interior was just scorched, roof gone, cloth top. We're looking at it, and it just screams insurance job. There was one guy skateboarding who said, yeah, somebody parked it there. It was a speaker wire. They wired up their stereo. It caught fire. And I suppose in some circumstances that could happen.
Yeah,
But
Shockingly flammable.
yeah.
And then the next day we go to shoot, and it's
still there.
It's
Still there.
And it takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours for them to tow it. And while we're there, different skateboarding kids, but we're trying to film the cars that we're there to film.
Yeah.
And while we're sitting there, I'm sitting there with 2 of the guys who were there for the shoot, who had cars and all that stuff that they were offering up. And 2 of these skateboard kids kind of look by and say, "What's with the cameras?" and just don't say anything. And then they just leave. And I thought it was hilarious that they were more interested in us because we had a camera hanging from our necks than this Wrangler, which was far more interesting. I think Mr. Regular was off shooting one of the other cars that we were doing at this time. But it was just such a weird thing.
Yeah.
At 4 Nationals, I was walking along, and this one kid yells at me, "Hey, I want to be on the internet." And I go, "Okay," and I aim the camera right at him. He's, "Oh, for real?" And he just and he starts running away. Like, and the raw footage is so bad because you're just like, "No, seriously," and he's just gone. Like, he's just like, "Oh my God, no," and he starts like scrambling away. I was like, "I'm sorry, I won't use it. It's fine."
I want to take a break here just for a second, make sure that I'm able to adjust the gain on this, because I see that we're peaking up here, but I want to know if I can get rid of that. So, be back in just a second. Okay. We've stopped using the microphone we were using, and this is one of those, well, what did you learn? Which is the big thing about the Southern Stab. So, what did you learn from all this? Well, the lesson is always do a test run with your microphone when you're using something that you're unfamiliar with. So, the microphone that's taking over is what we have on hand, so it's the microphone in the GoPro, which is a Hero 4.
Gets the job done.
It gets the job done. So once again, going around the room, myself is Mr. Regular. To my left is Will with the C4 that you just watched. To my 11 o'clock is David Patterson.
Hello.
From the Dude in Blue. and sitting on the floor doing something else is the Roman.
I'm not doing anything else. I'm just sitting here.
Your face is looking at your dick.
No. I was just waiting for everyone to go.
Where's mine?
Thing. I also have my book of lessons to make sure that I wrote down the
Everything.
Whole
You were just scribbling down on the back of my car earlier, just going to town.
Yeah, well, that I was trying to keep my face hidden there because normally I show up in the. Not that it matters really. No one really cares who I am. But
oh yeah, because the mirror. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Man, that's the thing. It's tough being anonymous, but it's extra stuff for me to blur out.
Yeah.
Watch my freaking face.
Oh, what's wrong with
watch my face.
What's wrong with your face? Red Letter Media hashtag right there.
What time is it?
The worst part about watching Red Letter Media's playing stuff is you can't stop doing the voice afterwards because it's so good.
I'm right here in my basement.
Yeah.
Of all the times that we've watched the Corvette video on the road because we've shown it to people, I can't stop doing the so fancy thing in my head.
So fancy.
It just deteriorates.
And it turned into some like dead language that was extinct 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, that guy was such a good voice actor.
Yeah, he was. He was. What time is it? 10:51 p.m. I said they want to go. Well, I don't have to get up early because there's nothing to do tomorrow. All we got to do is drive from Richmond back to Mid-State, PA. Drive about 5 hours, and this hotel doesn't serve breakfast. So
what?
Really?
this is a DoubleTree, man. We're balling in this hotel. Even
the Hampton across the street.
Well, DoubleTree is one step up from a Hampton.
Yeah, but they serve breakfast.
One step up
Hampton
and one
does.
breakfast down?
This is what I've learned about...
DoubleTree is great, though.
It is. DoubleTree is very good. This is what I've learned about hotels. And I'm saying this nicely because I would like at some point to get sponsored by Hilton. Because so far we've stayed exclusively at Hilton hotels, with the exception of times when we couldn't. It's about 75% staying at Hiltons. The farther up you go in prestige, the less stuff becomes free. Because they understand that if you're staying at a Hilton, spending $12 on breakfast is no big thing. And also at the Hilton Gardens, which are very nice hotels, Hilton Gardens are for people on business. You're rolling into Raleigh, you got some... the second you're up...
You need a roof.
Yeah, you're out. And Hampton served breakfast. Hilton Garden Inn typically don't. One time they offered me 10,000 points to eat dinner. So myself, sorry for the name drop, Sob Kyle, and our other volunteer also had dinner, and I got 1,000 extra Hilton points. And this is going to be helpful building up all these Hilton points for when we travel overseas. I'm not sure if Hilton exists. I'm sure Hilton exists in the UK.
It does.
They have some. Being able to have a free stays over there because the American dollar takes a crap.
It really does. When I was over there in Geneva, it was rough. But I will say Hiltons are really, like, for what you get, they're really high quality.
Yeah.
And recently when I went to New York for that spontaneous trip to film that 918, $90 a night in Manhattan.
$90 a night at a Hilton?
At a Hilton. In Manhattan. I kid you not. And I think, I was blown away. I was like, I can't afford to stay in, Midtown or up to wherever it was.
Yeah.
It was near Liberty One, the new Trade Center.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah. So I was like, there's no way I can afford this. It's like when you stay in Times Square, no, I can't.
Yeah.
And then $90 a night, I'm like, is this real life? Okay. Yeah. But yeah, points for airlines and everything else are so important.
Yeah.
Hilton has a massive advantage. My father used to do a lot of trucking, and the lower places, Red Roof Inn, Super 8s, things like that. When other hotels are done with their mattresses, and you can imagine when a hotel's done with a mattress, that's what you want, they buy them.
Yeah.
They have them shipped down and put in. Hilton will not recycle your mattress.
Nice.
Or a clean mattress. It's always worth it to know you are not sleeping on, the prostitute murder bed.
Yeah,
no.
Well, when I was in first grade, this goes back to the high dollar thing with money. My dad's company that he works for had a convention at a Ritz-Carlton. And the one in Amelia Island in Florida, beautiful hotel. They have a bunch of car events there for the really high dollar stuff. Very, very. Oh, so I was 8 years old, and I remember this perfectly. And we had just enough money to stay there. My parents, they weren't crazy wealthy. We were not very well off at the time, but we had just enough money with the company's support to stay there. So then there was valet. Then there was the breakfast. Then there was the lunch. Then there was the dinner. Then all that. Then the room service. Some of the room service cost money or whatever. So then after that, we went to go get the very luxury drive-thru food at McDonald's. And we go through there, and my mom opens her wallet. All the money's gone. And we learned that the head of the room service, who had one of those universal keys to go into every room, stole all our money. Ooh. It was all on tape, all on security. It was grand larceny. He ended up going to jail, and but it kind of threw you off. It was like, wow, like this is like the bee's knees of the hotels in this area, and we just got like $900 stolen, and it was all to go like to Disney World and like all these different places, and the whole vacation was ruined because of it. But Ritz did the right thing, reimbursed us, did everything, arrested the guy. But ever since then, I've stuck to like Hamptons and Marriotts and Hiltons because you don't, especially when you're on the road all the time. It's a roof. You go to sleep. That's all you need it for. Right. As long as it's clean. You're good.
Not to mention comfortable beds, they'll give you extra pillows. You don't have to worry about rooms being clean, stuff getting jacked. All the Hiltons I've stayed, I've never had a problem.
Yeah. But that was 1998, so I don't know about the hotel now, so don't quote me. So,
right. And another thing, there's a safety question, because often you're rolling into, and in a very Adam Carolla way, please take this in the spirit which is intended. If you're rolling into a strange town, you don't know which parts are the good parts and which are the bad parts. They don't stick Hiltons in bad parts of town.
They don't.
They don't.
They really don't.
No. So, there you go. Anyway, where did we leave off with the Southern staff? I'd like to talk about more of the cars, but in keeping with regular car reviews tradition of keeping all of our releases a secret, you can't talk about too many of them.
Not too many.
And by too many of them, I mean none at all.
I mean, the Burnout Wrangler is basically the only thing you can really talk about.
And that's not something we reviewed.
We didn't review it.
Maybe it'll appear in some of the...
happened.
Yeah, maybe it'll appear in some of the pictures that exist in the back. But, okay, things we learned. We've learned that people will lie to get themselves on YouTube. We've learned that you need...
Oh, sorry.
REO Speedwagon.
I was going to say REO Speedwagon is super underrated. That's what I learned.
Yes.
The band?
The band? We've done it.
I've seen them live. They're incredible.
Yeah? Nice.
Yeah. Voice hasn't changed a bit.
Sweet.
Because when we listen to the favorite song of the 80s, That in Africa by Toto.
Oh, yeah.
Riding the storm out, man.
Yeah.
We've learned that you need to call ahead to your film locations. And always do multiple call-aheads. Get someone who works at this area, who works in the area, is in charge of whatever. Get their name, get their number, call back multiple times. And if best, even get an email confirmation. A lot of this is due diligence. Because the worst thing you could do is, say, roll up to a state park where there's a ranger there who doesn't know what you're doing. And if he or she doesn't know what you're doing, the answer is always bad. Or they always assume the worst. If you call ahead weeks in advance and say, on this date I'm going to be here, I'm going to be taking pictures of these two cars, I will show up at this time, I will leave at this time, suddenly everything's fine.
Yeah.
So, and number 3, and this is something I've known for a while, but it also proved itself on this trip. If you dress like a dad, you'll be treated like a dad. And this is going all the way back to stuff from high school. And they say, well, people judge you by how you're dressed. And if you dress like you are a respectable member of society, people will treat you respectfully because from their perspective, you are a respectable member of society. So in a number of the pictures that I posted on as we were going on this road trip, people commented that, oh, you look like a dad. You can't dress yourself. And I'm like, I'm doing this on, there you go. I got a polo shirt tucked into pants. I'm wearing New Balance shoes. I've got aviator sunglasses on and a dumbass baseball cap. I look like everybody's dad, and people
Blend
take a look
in.
at this. This guy, I don't know who he is, but he is solid.
Yeah, I don't know who he is, but let me shake his hand. But actually, no, he's in the middle of something. Let me not disturb him.
Yeah. And also, when you come up to say a park, and there's some people getting ready to run or walk, if you go up first and introduce yourself and say, hi, my name is I'm going to be taking pictures of my friend's 2 cars there. I'm just letting you know so you don't worry. And every single time I've done that, people go, oh, okay, all right. And then, but on times when I didn't do that, and especially when I get the homemade Steadicam out, the people are looking at me. The fingers go out, they point, they look, what is they doing? And they think, and they don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like not knowing. Yeah. And if it's simple, I'm taking pictures, and sometimes I'll carry my homemade Steadicam, which is 3 pieces of pipe and a counterweight, and I said, this is my homemade Steadicam. I'm just taking pictures of my friend's car with this. Oh, okay. No problem.
Imagine my crane. I have a little crane. Every time. Like, the crane I always save for last, just in case I have to run. Like,
really?
Yeah, because I'll do all my, like, if I'm doing, like, an intro for a video or whatever, I'll do the slider stuff, I'll do the pan stuff, I'll do everything I can, handheld, everything I can, just so if I had to leave, I could still use it all.
Yeah.
So, like, I've had 2 incidences with the crane where people have come up to me and I said, hey, they came up to me and they're like, what the hell is that thing? And I'm like, oh, it works like this. Here's 2 pulleys and it yaws I'm just taking pictures. Keyword. People hate the word video.
They do.
They get so creeped out by the word video. And when you have a DSLR, you can pull that off.
Yeah,
that's what makes me nervous about upgrading to like a C100 or something, because it's a camcorder.
Yeah.
Like, you can't escape it. So even after explaining the crane, cops still show up. And they'll be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just taking pictures. They go, oh, okay. So it turned out good, but just in case I ever had to tear it down real fast, I always save it for last.
And it's kind of been the opposite with us, where we do the Steadicam stuff first.
Yeah.
Because it's the most conspicuous looking thing.
It really is. Just like we talked about earlier, the Corridor Digital GTA 5 video, they purposely used GoPros because GoPros in the public eye are now socially acceptable. Like, for about, say, 85% of the time, they're on the Venice boardwalk or whatever boardwalk, and they're like, oh, it's a GoPro. But if you had a DSLR out or above, then, because the GoPro, what was it made for? Having fun, essentially, just action, film whatever you want. And when you just have a stick with a GoPro on it, it's not very conspicuous. But you have Steadicam, cranes, it looks like a production. And people are like, I don't want to be in that. That's violating my privacy.
Yeah.
And also, if it's a production, hey, where's your permit?
Where's your permit? That's right.
Where's your permit?
Guerrilla filmmaking on its finest.
I want my cut.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Now you get me on a soapbox.
Yeah, well, that's why so many people don't film in LA anymore. It's they use the same canyon, same Malibu road, same everything.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We also film from inside the car, not outside the car.
which is big deterrence. I mean, I have a 3 suction cup thing for my DSLR, and nobody blinks an eye. They think it's a GPS or radar detector.
Oh, you have it outside the car?
No, inside the car. But I have a GoPro outside of the car, which I've been pulled over for once just to ask why I had a GoPro inside of the car. I said, oh, I just bought it. I just want to see what it looked like. And that was the truth, honestly.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, okay. Sure.
All right. So that makes me think when goal number 4 for RCR was Operation Vagabond Falcon.
Such a beefy name.
Yeah, really.
Operation Vagabond Falcon. It's an 80s movie.
I just want to wave an American flag right now.
It's going to be a first-generation Ford Falcon as our go-to vehicle. Now, it's going to be a sedan. As much as I like the wagon is... I don't know. I'll look at the wagon from time to time. I mean, it is going to be good to have the wagon, but...
I could have sold you one. I had one.
That line,
it was
though.
cheap.
Yeah.
I didn't know until a month after, man.
Yeah.
That it just slipped.
There'll be others.
Two. I had a sedan delivery and a wagon.
The wagon... I like the idea of the sedan, again, because dads. But I would need the 3 suction cup mount. Because as of now, using a Honda Fit as a film car, a Honda Fit has 4 hard points in the trunk through which you can thread ratchet straps and ratchet strap down a tripod to the to the carpet. That thing is solid. Now, it's still... Now, a Honda Fit has... It tries to be sporty.
It has that weird, midlife crisis suspension.
I know, and it's like, oh, let's put some kind of cool tires on it that are gonna... And it's... I think a semi-trailing arm in the back. I could be wrong, so it's gonna be the second pothole you hit. A Falcon would be very nice with big. Actually, the tires aren't too big, but they're small wheels.
It's the
lot
profile.
more rubber, so it'll be cushier. But I don't know if we could film from inside the car. Now it is a pretty big back window, though. But I would have to maybe get some suction cup mounts in there pointed out the back. But I like the idea of a Falcon, specifically the first generation one, because it looks so law-abiding. It's from the age, it's from the Camelot age of JFK.
Yeah.
He was elected in 1959 or 1960?
60. 3 years before, okay.
Yeah.
My
It
bad.
exists during that wonderful age.
Still too soon.
Summer of Love was... Because I get into all the history of that. I really want 1961, because 1961, the #1 song was Stand By Me.
Oh, yeah.
So it's wrapped up... Yeah.
Don't want to bring royalties.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So we'd have to apologize for eating the would you? Because they gave me cookies for checking in.
What? That's amazing.
There's your breakfast.
There it goes.
What's wrong with your chocolate chips?
Thank you for being a Hilton Honors member. Here's some cookies.
What leveling up is?
Yeah.
You now get cookies. I mean, at the first place we stopped, you got a bottle of water.
Yeah.
Speaking of, remember that Star Wars shirt, Join the Dark Side, we have cookies. I remember that one.
What I like the most about that Gen of Falcon you're talking about, though, is that car actually has the most innocent profile you've ever seen. It's got these big headlights, these little tiny wheels, this grille that has no mean angles on it. It just kind of comes to a soft point even on the side.
Yeah.
No matter what way you look at this car, it's almost like someone took a Corvair, an already very soft car, and managed to soften it even a little more. It is the most inconspicuous little thing, and then it even has this, I got this little tiny slit on my hood. Look at me, there might be a motor in here. There might be a hamster. It's okay, though.
It's okay.
I'm a Falcon. I'll show them.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It's as clean cut as John Denver singing in church. It's of course John Denver loved to
Insert things here.
Yeah. He liked weed, right? I don't know. Who am I, man?
I don't know.
I'm just thinking because of the whole Colorado thing.
Yeah.
Is it bad when you say John Denver? The only thing that comes to mind is
Plane
the Dumb
crash.
and Dumber joke.
Oh, no.
You remember that? Have you seen Dumb and Dumber?
No, yeah, I've seen very different ways for that.
I know. He goes,
Yeah,
they cross it, they accidentally go through like Nebraska, and they're like, sure thought the Rocky Mountains would be rocker and this. That John Denver's full of shit, man.
I don't know. The Falcon is clean cut, but a go-getter like Leslie Knope.
There you go. 144 cubic inch straight 6.
Wow.
Which is like
Reliable.
2.8 liters? Something like that, if I can do the math.
Yeah.
I'm not certain on that, I don't know.
No, or you could get
Can't
the big
quote me on
100
that.
170 cubic inch and I think was the 289 ever offered? They made the Falcon Sprint in 1963.
The Falcon was offered a V8, I do believe it was.
I don't remember. I know that Google is right behind us.
You could get a V8. It was either a 6 or an 8. There was no 4 option at that time. Nobody had one.
As I remember, I don't think there was a 4 on the floor option. I think it was a Falcon Sprint.
I didn't mean manual. I meant cylinders.
Oh yeah.
Oh
no,
okay.
yeah.
No, yeah. The sedan delivery I sold was a factory 4 on the floor. Which I thought was really cool. I'd never seen a 4 on the floor one, but
what I want is I don't want the 3 on the tree. I want the Ford-O-Matic 2-speed, just to have 2-speed auto.
You cannot go wrong with the 2-speed automatic. The same way that the '66 Bel Air that I spend a lot of time in going to car shows is just a reliable old girl I don't have to worry about, except for the time it caught fire. There was time.
That one time.
Yeah, but insurance did a great job. Thank you, insurance. You made the car better.
Always have insurance.
Ask for
that has a
sponsorship.
Power Glide 2-speed, which you'd sit there and go, oh, 2-speed, it's the worst. It's really not. It's reliable. You can't hurt a Power Glide no matter what you do to it, and I've tried. The thought was eventually if I blow out the Power Glide, I can put a 4-speed in it, but it refuses to be blown out, so I've just decided to marry the thing. It's in there, it's staying.
Why do you think so many drag racers use them? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Oh,
look, consistent times, too.
Is that a cast iron bell housing? Everything?
Relatively certain. I would be speaking out of turn on this because I'm talking with GM. What's Ford's on this?
Ford is the Ford-O-Matic. GM was the Power Glide. Chrysler was the Torque Flight. Yeah, but the Torque Flight I think is going into the 70s.
I think so. Yeah.
Torque Flight was a 3-speed, and I only know this from Jay Leno, from his YouTube thing, is that the Torque Flight was shifted a lot harder than the other ones.
Power Glide's smooth.
Yeah, it is very smooth.
Yeah.
Well, it's only got to do it once.
Yeah.
one gear to move, the other one to keep
Just
moving.
go. Yeah.
So anyway, we didn't talk about the other two. We talked more about in the beginning with the other mic that my main concern with running a car meet is keeping the bad element out, and it bugs me that the bad element doesn't know it's the bad element.
That's almost what gets you more. Is like when you see somebody do a burnout for like 3 straight minutes, and you're telling them to stop. They finally get out of the car and they're like, "Why are you yelling at me, man?" And you're like, "Come on." Like,
I wonder, okay. There was this, see my sentence is just ending here. The degree to which I have to regress my thought process to explain why doing this is wrong would take all night maybe with you, because I'm not just talking about this instance. I'm talking about your tight-fisted grasp on adolescent. Oh gosh,
you got
adolescent
ego.
Oh, why can't I think?
So, I always just use the term like you have nothing to prove.
Gratification.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good
that's
word.
a good one. Yeah.
Impulse control.
There
we go.
Perfect impulse. Yeah. People egging you on.
I wanted to do something and I shall do something because I am.
Yeah.
But those people aren't thinking that profound.
It's around them. Usually they want to show off.
Yeah, the words "I can" are sort of a catalyzing influence. And I mean, I was that youth who would do something stupid just because he could do it. And the intentions, adolescence isn't aware of its own adolescence.
I know.
No, it's not.
And so I don't always feel like I don't blame people necessarily, but there's a time where you should be able to read into other people's responses and understand that they don't think this is cool. And even if I don't think something is wrong, if I see that someone else does, well, actually, that's kind of a broad swath because someone else thinks gay marriage is wrong doesn't mean I'm going to agree with them. But I understand, I don't go to other people's house and tell them, what
how
they
to
should
live their
believe
life
and how to live their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine car meet would sort of be the same way of, we're not asking people to reorder their way of thinking or how they live their lives. It's just for these few hours, however long it lasts, just please govern whatever impulses are governing you.
It's that teenager, like, you know, that saying, like, you won't. You know, like if somebody's like, do a burnout, you won't. You know, or you know, get on the gas, you won't. Or go 100 miles an hour, you won't.
Perhaps.
And people do it.
I would need to,
themselves.
when I make the video, instead of asking, commanding, should you come to this car meet, you will keep your revs low, you will keep your gears high, don't show off. I'm not impressed with your engine, I'm not impressed with the noise it makes. What impresses me is your ability to restrain yourself. I'm speaking to the young man who has uttered the phrase, I can beat up my dad. I'm speaking to you. Now, when I say things like that, that's getting super specific.
Yeah.
And it's also getting a little bit... I'm also getting into socioeconomic status.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying, like, okay, kid from the broken home who has some problems going on, the problems don't end by you popping your clutch. But I'm like we're going way beyond a car meet into psychology now.
Say a whole different ball game.
Because RCR is really never about power, it's about weird jokes. And for the most part, the one story that gets repeated, at least among my subscribers, is the story where we just ended a car meet. Roman wasn't present for this, and this was in the very infantile RCR, where a kid in the WRX said, okay, just circle around here, and he immediately burns out. Come right up to his window, said, the shoot's over. What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm gone.
Yeah.
We just ended it right there. I had a teacher in middle school who called it the sacrificial lamb. He would find the one student who was messing up and would nail them with the 5,000 word writing assignment. Yeah. And immediately that person pointed to everybody else, but they were doing it too. I saw you. And it was making an example out of him. So, and it's weird probably for people who are listening to me talk like this in such a parental way to think, well, I'll probably have to sacrifice somebody.
Yeah.
But say, okay, you're not behaving, you're gone. Of course, if we have a police presence there, that immediately solves
it. Really does. Yeah. It's unreal how much a black and white solves a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well,
as long as it's not a pool party.
Well, you're...
Timely joke!
Jurassic World is #1 at the box office!
But your discomfort with people doing that is something that, I wouldn't have felt comfortable, you know, us screwing off in my car out of the gate without that being established. I have no idea getting into my vehicle, your driving experience, your, you know, whether you're going to run it hard. I like the idea that you would be uncomfortable if I were to step down or anything of that nature. That's how it should be, genuinely.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of what I know or what anybody else knows, that should be held out. Mm-hmm. And that's never professionalism that's nice.
Right. Oh, and we also learned we need to get better at vetting people. Mm-hmm. Which means talking more to people on the phone, and trying and succeeding to figure out their personality after a few phone calls. Try to figure out, okay, how much emotional baggage are you going to bring to this day where we all need to work together for 4 hours? And you're going to have to work together with someone else you never met, and also you're going to have to follow a bit of stage direction. Because while we're out here, you're not hanging out with Mr. Regular, you're hanging out with 2 cameramen and 2 writers. Two are the same thing. And we'll be moving rather swiftly, and it's a little bit like Pulp Fiction, where the Harvey Keitel says, listen right here, I'm not here to say please. I work fast, I talk fast, and I expect you to act fast if we're going to get out of this.
Say what again?
Say what again? Oh, and this is the... it's not a sobering reality, because I like beer, but it's a maturing reality that if we're making this our job, it can't be a party when we're out here. An RCR shoot is never a party. It's always business. And never bring your girlfriend. David is shaking his head. Never bring your girlfriend. And that's sexist. But you like this because I'm talking about the time I shoved pencil lead down my dick and then broke it off, because seeing blood is the only time I can get off with 2 mirrors.
No,
You like that joke, but Gretchen doesn't.
Yeah. No, it's funny whenever I do like the glamour shot stuff before a review or whatever. The number one question I get asked by people, even if they've driven 3-4 hours to come do it, is, so where's the rest of your crew? I'm like,
One guy.
One guy. They're like, no. I'm like,
yeah, huh?
Yeah, and then they go, why haven't you made an FAQ video? I made one last week.
Why do people get so hard and so aroused by trying to figure what program do you use? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't all matter in how you use the tools.
Right. I suppose some people just want to ask something. I've got to ask something. Well, you're clearly editing this on a computer. What program is best? And there's this old website, and, you know, old by internet standards, called The Best Page in the Universe. Yeah!
Oh,
Maddox.
Vintage internet. Vintage internet. E-bombs world status.
And
Napster status.
Napster bad. You know what?
I know that
documentary.
I know that thing you're talking about.
I leave the Silverchair album downloading overnight.
I saw Charlie the Unicorn the other day.
Oh, man.
Yeah, how far back does that go?
07?
Right?
Yeah. I was in 10th grade. That's how I remember. Everybody in my theater class wouldn't stop doing it. Like, what scene are you going to act out today? Oh, I should have saw that coming.
There was this one line that Maddox said in The Best Page of the Universe, that he said, asking someone, saying that a painting is good because you use the most expensive set of paints doesn't mean anything. So just because, what do you, Final Cut, Premiere, After Effects? Of course, After Effects isn't an editing program.
Yeah, it's more compositing.
Avid, you know, people still use Avid. Pick one, and they're all the same. Just impress me. What kind of mic do you use? Although I do have opinions about mics.
Yeah.
The one that what kind of camera is the one that gets the shot is the best camera. Why do you think everybody uses GoPros? Because they get the shot.
Yeah. It's hard to miss with a GoPro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where I can't really shoot worth a damn, and I can't really play guitar worth a damn. I mean, I can play, but I can't play.
I understand.
But it's one of those things where I'd like to think that there are things that I can do that can just get done, keep things moving, and so there's the writing and you know those types of things, and people try to ask, well, hey, how do you write songs, or how do you?
Got this answer when someone asks, so how do you come up with the stuff you write about? I think about what would make my mom cry, and I write that.
That's probably a good way to put it. Yeah.
I just think of something really gross that I wouldn't.
You reach your goal with that one. I remember the first time I ever showed. It was the first time I ever showed one of your videos was the S2000.
The first one? The one where it's like, mine, this is mine, all mine.
Yes, yeah. Because my friend, he had just... Yeah, it's a Porsche car, that one. So I showed that one everywhere, and then I showed the Miata one, baby photos, you know. And everyone's like, what's happening? What's going on? And I'm like, Watch a few of them, you'll get it, and then that's how it goes. And then people love it, you know, because if that humor was so brutal at first, if you just weren't ready for it, especially with how subtle y'all's name is, with just regular.
Oh, good! Someone made a radio crew about regular cars.
And then
I put my cum in a plastic baggie and I bring it to 7th grade biology class.
And then you go into your British accent and go, I guess I did not see that coming. Like,
I don't really know what he's trying to do.
There's comedy right there.
I eat peas with vinegar.
So fancy.
Suggestions that come up with the no girlfriend, everything else. None of these are suggestions that come up initially out of the gate. These are all trial by fire.
It's experiment.
It's one of those like, if anybody watched Freeman's Mind,
years
ago on YouTube, don't hang on the rails. Oh, they wouldn't come up with that if somebody didn't just try to do it. Who just jumped up there and had hang time with 20,000 volts?
No, it's that those brutal truths come out though through experience.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is.
It's just I hope that people that we're telling this to would sort of understand that it doesn't come from a hostile place.
It's out of love.
It comes from a place of deep appreciation for what they're doing for us, but also from a need to sort of have things regulated in a way that we can keep this going.
Yeah.
Because all it takes, do you want to be the guy that killed it? You know what I mean? It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 people come down. I didn't know there was 2 people coming. Come down from, I can't remember what car it was, and he brought his friend, which is fine. And then I was like, oh, well, if you want to ride with me, because it's about 50-50. Sometimes I have the car on my own, and sometimes I don't. But this time around, he wanted to ride with me. I'm like, well, your friend can't ride in the back, because then there's just going to be an awkward fellow in the back the whole time. Just kind of be there. And I'm like, so what I didn't know really what to do. So I cooked him food. I got him in front of my TV, my Xbox, and set it all up for everything. I'll be back in so-and-so amount of time. Make yourself comfortable.
Wow, you're a
That's a amount of trust.
Yeah. But my parents, the whole family was there, and I was like, it was such a bad idea. But I learned from that, and I was just like, stay put like a dog almost.
Right.
Like, stay put, we'll be right back.
That's why I feel so bad when people say, can I bring my friend? And the answer is
They're
no.
going to be left. Like, that's what happens.
Right.
And
he's just going to be standing out on a hot parking lot. Oh, he won't mind.
Yeah.
He's gonna find something to do, and it's probably not going to be... No, he'll be fine. There's nothing for him to do. This isn't a party. If you want to hang out afterwards...
That's fine.
That's fine. No, that's half the reason why I don't like to do cars people under 21, because we always drink afterwards.
That's not good. My shoot would have been a nightmare if we didn't have an extra car. The second one.
Yeah. That
I had no way to avoid that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I need an extra person. We were on the road traveling, and
Yeah.
The shoot just happened to line up, and I had an extra person with me. If we didn't have an extra car, she would have been staying on the side of the road.
Right.
That was what I offered initially. I was like, I can leave you with this
If they bring
home.
a friend with another car and they just want to follow, that's okay.
ooh,
to
I don't
me,
even
but-
like that
but
either.
I don't care. I don't care about that. That
It's a
doesn't
weird
faze
way.
me.
You're out. Not that it's a big
Honestly,
thing, but
rolling
mentally,
car,
You're if 2 people show up, 2 separate cars, you're kind of. That would make me uncomfortable.
Because I'm thinking about them.
I'm not.
There's a variable right now. It was something that Roman and I were talking about earlier today. Trying how do you shoot something, or how do you exist and not be, as you said, someone else's cross to bear? Yeah. And it happened when David and us were rolling around the parking lot looking for a picture to take Sally next to the Smurf, and I said, keep going. There's people in this parking lot. We don't want to be in their way. We don't want to be that guy. So we ended up going around. But when an extra car shows up that I'm not doing, it's something else that occupies a little bit of my consciousness. That there's some people over there who may do something that I have no control over, and I know that you should have a Zen approach. Well, you can't control everything. Well, you're effing with my dream job right now. There's a little thing that possibly could go wrong here, and I don't know you. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, Southern Stab. Sorry, I want to wrap this up in a few minutes.
Yeah.
No, it's getting late.
Any behind the scenes bits on Will's car?
Oh.
Since that came
yeah.
out?
Yeah, behind the scenes, that's actually split up into 2 different shoots. One was the better part of a year ago.
It was. Now, so a lot of people say, when will it be out?
When can I expect
Look,
it
I had
gets
one
out?
with a Corvette that took a year to come out because some shoots weren't there, and this is when it fit in.
Yeah, at Carlisle, there was no time for a drive along. I mean, once you leave the fairgrounds, the time of getting back in, everything else, your spot's not going to be there. Not that a spot matters, but I don't want to be that guy who saves a spot. That's just not the guy you want.
Yeah,
It's like when you're at the movie theater and you have to save a whole row, and you're like,
oh,
Yeah, then we
I
did
promise
that.
they're coming.
The second shoot went okay, but we couldn't get the hood open for the second shoot. My latch was
Really?
broken. Yeah, I tried pulling on it, and all that's really left of my hood release latch in that vet is a bunch of wires that are hanging on a piece of plastic that's down there. So I just, manhandle, grab the wires and pull on it, and it would open up. Well, then it just decided it's not going to do that anymore, so that whole trip was kind of blind. I know I burned a little bit of oil, and I was like, man, do I hope the filling it up before I left is going to work out in the long term, because, taking a risk. But no, the vet did okay. Actually, the second shoot, there's no real photos of it. We were packed down for a trip. We had tons of duffel bags, food, candy, all sorts of stuff underneath that top when we went out. And I mean, it was loaded down.
Wow.
That was a fun day. That was a weird
thanks.
day.
I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, I
It's
had
not
good
a
time.
party. You can't say fun.
It was easier because I knew Will, and it's true in love as it is in job interviews. You can figure out someone in about 6 seconds. Just by talking to them for 6 seconds. You can put them in a category, and I don't like admitting that there are levels to... How on earth were we talking about this? Levels to human... Not interaction. It's like we have a caste system of maturity.
Yeah.
And it does not always follow age. But one thing was for certain. I can't talk about this because that would give away the vehicle. The best people in the world are these, where even the kids are top notch.
yeah, and you're struggling.
We were in a particular place on the Southern Stab where, by virtue of the vehicles, everybody was trustworthy,
and
I did not have to worry about a single thing, and it was potentially the most dangerous shoot I did.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
There are things around here that
Gotcha.
can decapitate me.
Yeah.
I am in but it is very controlled. And that's what I want for, if you have a dream for RCR, one, make it my job and make it profitable. And then the second one is have a controlled environment. Like being able to get, buying property or something like that. Like Tax the Rich have this large, of course now we're thinking pie in the sky, right? An entire estate. I just want an empty lot.
Yeah.
That's just
honestly,
mine.
Right?
Right?
Have you guys ever been kicked out for shooting? Like, ever?
No, but we were followed out of a state park once by a park ranger because we were interrupting his glorious day of sitting in his Ford Escape playing electronic Texas Hold'em all day.
Yeah. I've been kicked out, I think, 6 times out of places. And 4 of those, by the way, were in the same day. And guess where? Fairfax, Virginia.
Out of curiosity, do you think it's a virtue of the fact you do flashier cars than regular cars does to a degree?
Kinda, sorta, but I think just at Fairfax, just people, they just did not like the idea of a camera. They just didn't like it. Because that early morning, because I had filmed Great Falls Cars and Coffee before, which is a awesome Cars and Coffee. It's in I believe it's in Fairfax. Don't quote me. It's Northern Virginia. And within 5 minutes of filming at Great Falls, this was 2 years ago, somebody tried to have a fight with my friend.
What is great? At a Cars and Coffee?
At a Cars and Coffee.
Ah.
Yeah. Well, by the way, he was a middle-aged man, like 55 years old. because I had my camera out, and he said, "You don't have permission to film my car." And I said, "Okay, I'm sorry." And he pushed my friend. We're like, "What is your deal, dude?"
You know, it's way too early in the morning.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I was like, I just got here. I just drove 3 hours, like, starting at like 2 in the morning.
I would look at someone like that and think, okay, lower caste. This is someone who doesn't think too far into the future. It's not you. His entire life is like this.
Yeah.
He would push the gas. He would push a banker if he thought it would get him more money when he withdrew from the ATM.
Right.
This is a guy whose life revolves around check cashing places.
Yeah.
And
The struggle.
the struggle.
But I definitely will go back to that Cars and Coffee because they have crazy like cars that go there. But it was just funny how when I returned to that area, how hard it was to do a shoot. Within 30 minutes, I got kicked out of the first spot. It was just an open parking lot, like nobody around, open parking lot. Somebody drove in an SUV and it was like, "I own this property. I saw you on the security cam. Get out of here." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Leave. We go to this middle nowhere road. Whatever Chrysler Caravan shows up. "I saw you on my security cam." I'm like, "What?" And he had cameras along that road. I'm like, "Oh, my bad. That was an honest mistake." Apparently, it was like a 4-mile long driveway.
Oh.
I didn't even know.
Yeah,
That was an honest mistake.
the road, it looks very much like a road, but it's a driveway in front of the Sloppy Mechanics garage in Allentown.
Yeah.
Is a private road. That
I
way,
had no
I
idea.
had videos. I had this one video of them blowing up a Buick Century.
Yeah.
Where they put nitrous on it. It was a junkyard. It was going to the junkyard.
Yeah, they're like,
anyway.
whatever.
What did it finally push? Did it break 200?
It didn't. It
It
now.
got close. It was
Oh,
like
yeah, I did
190
watch
or
that.
something.
I did
Yeah.
watch that. Yeah.
Yeah, it got up to 193 or something like that.
Wow.
From 67.
Yeah.
Wow. How much of a shot did they do? Was just all
I think
the
100
way-
shot, something
Okay.
like that. And they had to dial it down a little bit to make more power, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, about 193, and they did the reverse burnouts where they just put it in reverse for a while, put it in neutral, slam it into drive, and spin the tires. But they were doing it. It appeared that they were doing it on a public road. But no, that bit of stretch from this area to this area is owned by the garage. They said they've been doing burnouts for 3 years, and the police don't show up because it's not public.
It's theirs. Yeah.
So what I've learned, also, and this is not just the Southern Stab, but before, is if you're on private land, you need written permission to be there,
Yep.
which really means you need, now, in the modern age, especially in YouTube, it's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. But if you really need that shot to be done there, you need to call ahead, sometimes months in advance. And
Oh, sorry.
so anyway, what are you doing?
No,
Flossing?
I was flossing. And
Roman is
I
flossing
didn't
his
see
teeth.
there was anything in his hand, so as far as I was concerned, he looked like he was just doing the Liu Kang bicycle kick with his hands under the bed.
That is hilarious you
So
say
I just
that
kinda
because
looked at
I am
him
now
and I
addicted to Mortal Kombat X. So
I mean, realistically, I wouldn't put it past me to do something like
Who's your
that.
best character?
Sub-Zero.
Oh, man.
Oh, back in the day.
God, I wish I had time for
Kairos.
Oh,
I
yeah,
barely
me
do.
too.
It's literally like my render time kind of deal. Your
Yeah.
exporting time. I hop on for a little bit. Export.
Yeah. I remember when with my old computer I had to render all night. My old one. I'd set it to render and go to bed.
Go to bed, yeah.
Go to bed, yeah.
The first laptop I ever edited on when I was like 15 was a Dell, and it was
Nice.
no.
Dude, you're
crashed,
getting a Dell.
Crashed 3 times. Dude, that guy.
That guy.
He got busted for...
He got busted for something because he was a bartender
drug
for a
use
while.
or something for a while, yeah.
Whatever, yeah. Insert career thing here, ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hollywood for you.
It's always drugs, man.
Yeah. Stay away, kids.
There's no hope with dope.
All right, Smokey, the bear.
Yeah, I don't even know what that was about.
I don't know what that one was from. Yeah.
Don't forget to
Don't forget-
pour a bucket of water on
Don't
it,
forget to
stir,
bring a
pour
towel.
water again.
That's what you said earlier.
Yeah, Callie, you're the worst
Don't
character
forget to
ever.
bring a towel. Yeah, the worst influence ever. Yeah, for sure.
Well, we're gonna be wrapping this up. It's 11:30 and 11:39, 11:40. I'm gonna get naked, take a shower, and play with myself, and then you get to take a shower after me.
Not at the same time. Hopefully, there's no residual.
The floor's sticky.
Residual.
You sounded like freaking Kevin Spacey for American Beauty. This is the highlight of my
day.
Yeah.
Backing off in the shower. I haven't done it in a while. It's gonna come out like yogurt.
Oh, man.
Nightmares.
I just have to throw this in. When I went to University of Maryland, they actually asked in the freshman dorms. It was posted up there on the walls, asking males to stop jacking in the shower because it kept clogging the drains.
Yeah.
And they couldn't.
East Carolina did too. I remember those went viral like crazy.
Yeah, we also had the one lady who, quote, I don't know if I can say it, the student who got suspended for writing that hate letter about punting another girl. It was out there. Oh, it's long. If you guys get a chance, please Google it. It's hysterical, actually.
People.
Yeah, college.
Now I'm wondering if
Good
any
choice.
sort of sewer mutants now spawn from that. I don't know.
Sewer baby.
Yes.
Oh, the worst.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Half gator, half lonely male.
Pretty much, I'm pretty sure Spider-Man 3 came out of that sewer.
You're not wrong.
Oh, my beard is too long.
That's
I
how
haven't
the
shaved in
Sandman
half a
stayed
month.
together.
Yeah, my beard is getting it's getting more bushy than long.
The worst is when like the scruff is just not long enough to not be itchy. And you're just like, stop. Stop.
And on that note, that's
on
the
that
end of this
note.
podcast. Thank you very much for liking RCR, and thank you very much for liking The Dude in Blue. Hopefully we'll do another crossover. We've never done a full crossover episode, but
we still had a good time today.
yeah, we still have hopefully something in the future. Let's do something.
Alright.
All right.
Take
Have a
care.
good night. Bye.